So this is a piece of jeans that is left over from my patchwork dress project, and I just cut it up. I put it in a mix of water. Let's make this pulp with that has such a beautiful color. And then, oh my god, it's working! I made jeans paper, and this is what the result looks like. Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Julie and today I'm going to make paper. Okay, let's start by making paper pulp out of your old jeans. So I started by selecting some old jeans. This is some leftover from a few jeans projects that I did, and I cut this up into little pieces. It's really important that your pieces are small, little jean scraps. Then I put these scraps into a mixer and I added some water. I heat my water up before I add it in. I don't heat it up until the point it boils, but like a little bit before that. I think it helps. I don't know if it's really necessary, but I do it. Then I let this mix and I turn this into a jeans smoothie. And I let it mix for around 1 or 2 minutes because it's important that it's really turned into pulp. And here I'm going to show you what the pulp looks like. It has a really beautiful color. This like a blue kleine jeansy color. I like this color. And it also feels kind of satisfying to poke around in. I collected all of this pulp into a big bin. And I continued cutting my jean scraps into really small scraps, adding water and making a lot of jean smoothie. And I'm not alone here, my cute little dog also wants to say hi to you all. Say hi into the comments and give this video a like for my dog. Because yes, I'm going to use this cute puppy to get likes on YouTube. And when I wanted to put my pulp into the bin, I realized that we have another visitor. So I was in time to save him. And I made him transfer from my unsafe pulp. So I made him transfer from my pulp bin into this beautiful plant. And that's his new home now. He can stay there and happily enjoy the sun. Then I poured my pulp into the bin. I also added some newspaper to the jeans pulp. I don't really think it's really necessary, but I always like to do this because I want to use this paper to write on. And I added 3/4 of jeans pulp and 1/4 of newspaper pulp. You just stir the newspaper up, you do a little bit of water in it and you mix it, and you only need to mix this for around 10 or 20 seconds. And then you pour it into the bin as well. But first check if your bin is ladybugs free. And I squashed around a little bit with the pulp and then I added a lot of water. Try to use rainwater if you can. To continue this paper making journey, you will need a deckle. This is actually quite easy to make. What you to do is to buy 2 equal frames somewhere, like a thrift shop or a dollar store, and you remove all the glass between them. Then I added chicken wire to one side of the frame. Then I added chicken wire to one side of the frame and I stapled a mesh pack onto it as well. And this forms my deckle. Simple, cheap and easy. Okay, and now the best part begins. Place the 2 frames on each other and put them into the bin. Pull them up, dragging all of this pulp with you. Then I removed some of the excess pulp from the side of the frame. Now you need to get as much water out of this pulp as possible to turn it into jeans paper. First use my hands to squeeze some water out. And then I took a sponge and I used it to squeeze out as much water as possible. Now you need a tablecloth. Place the deckle onto the tablecloth. I squeezed out some extra water in this step too. Then I removed the upper frame and I flipped it around and flipped my paper onto the cloth. And then I got really excited because this really worked. And then I took my sponge to squeeze out even more water. Once you're sick of tapping your paper with a sponge, you can lay this into a warm place so it can dry. And then I did the same thing for the other paper. Put your frames in, remove the excess pulp, squeeze the water out, and flip it around. This is the kind of project that really takes a lot of time, but I actually don't mind that. I spent the whole afternoon to make 7 or 8 sheets of paper, but I actually enjoyed this fact that it's going so slow. And it feels so much more special when I send letters with this paper because I made it all by myself. It's paper from the heart. When you're almost finished and there's not a lot of pulp left in the bin, I used a little sieve to get as much pulp as possible onto the frame. So I placed the frame onto the side and I sieved as much pulp as possible onto the frame. Once all of the excess pulp was onto the frame, I tried something else. I just put it back into the water. I squeezed out a little bit of water with my hand and then I just flipped this pulp onto a cloth. And now I'm going to use a roller to get as much water out as possible. I saw someone do this online and I thought I'd give it a try too. So you just roll this paper out like you're rolling a pizza. And you also use your sponge bob to squeeze out as much water as possible. And then I laid this paper out to dry. I laid them inside because it was a beautiful spring day, but in the evening it would get quite cold and maybe a little bit chance of rain and I didn't want to ruin them. So I just laid them into my room onto a piece of plastic and I let them dry for around 48 hours. So once it's dry, it always comes out a little bit frumpy and I iron this flat. It's easy, you just put your ironer on a normal stand and you just, iron the paper like you would iron a skirt or a shirt or a sock or any other item of clothing. This time I only got like 7 or 8 sheets of paper. The last time I made paper I got 20 sheets, but I think that's because I didn't really trust it. The fact that jeans paper would work, so I didn't make that much pulp. But yeah, I think I will make some more pulp later when there's another sunny day. I also cut at the edges of the paper a little bit so it looks a little neater, but you can choose if you do this or not. I'm going to use this paper to send them to my pen pals. I started penpalling again a while ago and I really enjoy it. This is how the last piece of paper came out. It's not that neatly as the rest of them, but I still really love it. Here I'm just going to compare it to the other paper I made. I don't know if you have seen this video. I will link it down below, but I made some other paper from just fabric scraps, no jeans, but leftover fabric scraps. And I got a pink one. This is because the fabric I used for this was pink and red, and this gave this nice pink color. And I also made a white blue one. Sometimes I got a few questions if you could actually write on this paper, and you can, as I use it to write pen pals. I'm just going to show you the beginning of this paper, and I also wanted to show you this cute letter. It's a really nice letter that I'm going to respond to. I'm going to blur it away a little bit because penpalling is a private business, but it's really fun to reply to the letters on homemade paper. It makes me feel so special. Okay, that was the end of today's video. I want to thank you for watching. I really enjoy making this paper. I told you that a few times in this video, but I'm going to tell you again that I would. And I would advise you to try this, to get a pen pal if that's something you think you're into or you will like. And for my next video, I think I'm going to make another patchwork sewing tutorial or another dress. Probably the big circle skirt, because I like these kind of dresses. Okay, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave a comment, all the good stuff. Bye!